In the House, it's Julie Harris. Julie is President of Federation of Republican Women from Arkansas. And also in the House, it is Penny Payne, President of Mississippi Federation for Republican Women in the state of Mississippi. One is wearing red. I just posted the picture of your website. That's a large group of ladies in red. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for letting us be here with you.
Certainly. Thank you for coming in. Where do we start here? Super Tuesday, that's today. When people say it's the most important election day, it's the second most important. I would think November is a little more important than that. But ours is coming up next week. What are you guys doing in advance of that?
Well, Paul, one of the things that the NFRW is doing for all the primaries is we are trying to have our representation on the ground, supporting our women who are working in the primaries. We as an organization, as you probably know, we do not endorse during the primaries. Our role as an organization is to bring the party together once the primaries are over, but our thousands of members are engaged in primaries. And so we wanted them to see our leadership there, supporting them, encouraging our women to get out and vote. It is an important election, and I agree with you. November will be one of the most, if not the most important election in our lifetime. Every year we say that, every election, but I believe that every election it is.
Yeah, and I say that too. We've been doing this for a long time, but I got to tell you, this one is, because if we have 4 more years than we had the last 3 years and 3.5 years, and we change that much as America, the very fabric of our country, it's not going to look anything like America anymore. Let me ask about Arkansas. They're not part of is Arkansas part of this? As far as the super, or?
We do. We have our election today. Now, I was home last week so I could vote because the president resides in Alexandria, Virginia, to be close to the nation's capital while she's president. But yes, I am watching Arkansas, and it's an exciting day. I think I counted 16 states, if you count one of the territories, who will be voting today.
Julia, are they turning on the new governor over there, or do they love her to death?
We love her. We love her. I can't answer for everyone, but for myself and for those that I associate with, we love her. She's doing a fantastic job.
Penny, as far as Mississippi's concerned, are we ready for the election next week?
We are ready. Our ladies are boots on the ground kind of gals. We have worked really hard. Last year, we banked in over 80,000 volunteer hours for campaigns across the state of Mississippi. That translates to $2.5 million in campaign funds to get Republicans elected across the state of Mississippi. We're very proud of that.
I got to ask both of you, because it's important to bring younger people into this. Whether you're a young lady who's working at home or stay-at-home mom, regardless of what your occupation happens to be. But how did you guys, Penny, first of all, how did you get in here to go from knowing exactly what's going on, knowing how important ideology is and how you manifest that ideology, to actually being part of it and going out and working? What was the trigger that got you to that step?
Back in the early 80s, I worked for a local department store, and we did fashion shows for different organizations. And one day, we had a fashion show for the Stone County Republican Women. Those women were so engaging. They were so excited about being Republican. And I knew I was Republican because I had just voted in the first election for a Republican president, Ronald Reagan. I was so excited to tell them that I was just like them. They told me, you need to find Harrison County Republican Women. They were one of the first clubs that began in the 1960s. You need to find them. And the very next month, I was a member of Harrison County Republican Women, and I've been a member ever since.
We hear that all the time. We just a point of contact where somebody brings that up. For you, Julie, about the same way, or?
It was similar. I was, I think, 30, 31. I had young children at home, very concerned about our country. And I was wondering, is there anyone else who feels this burning in their soul to do something to help our country as much as I do? And I remembered I had received a card when I first moved to Arkansas, welcoming me to Arkansas from the Republican Women. And I had kept the card. I don't know why now, looking back, I kept the card so long. I think it intrigued me. And so I looked up the number, called the lady who had sent the card, and she connected me and here we are now. But we recently did a poll on what brought women, what was that trigger to get involved with Republican women, and the number one answer was to make a difference in our country.
Yeah. When you talk to when you try to make the sales point to younger people or anybody else retired for that matter, and you say, well, here's what it's meant to me, here's what it's brought me, the interest on the principles, here's what I have gained from that. It's that knowledge that you might have made a little bit of a difference.
That's right. That is correct. And one thing people may not know is our very first president was only 30 years old and had two small children. So we have a history of younger women leading the charge at NFRW.
How many people do you have in this state, Penny?
We're still collecting data from we're in our first quarter. Right now, we're almost 800 members in the state of Mississippi, but we're just getting started, so that will grow once we get in.
Is there an age limit there, or you can have?
No,
or does it matter?
All ages. I think we have our youngest is 18, and we have retirement age. We have all walks of life in the MFRW. We have career women, retired women, stay-at-home moms. We're just all over the gamut.
Good. I'm trying to help you out on your recruiting here. Just I don't get 10% of new members, but I do want to see this grow because it's such a great idea. Just one more thing here. What's the obligation for someone? You guys are full-time, I'm sure, as president and have a lot on your plate. But just for the regular member, what are we talking about obligation here?
Well, it can be as little or as much as you can give us. I think the biggest thing that I like to tell women is it's a network. We are trying to develop a network of like-minded women. Some can do more than others. For me, when I first came in, I had young children, so I couldn't do as much at that time, but I stayed engaged, and now I can do a lot more. So don't be discouraged if you feel like, well, I don't really have time. Still be counted among us. Still stay informed. Be part of our network. Be a member. And to the question you asked Penny about how many members, so every year we renew. So I like to look at it as a 3-year average. And so for a 3-year average for NFRW, we're around 60,000, and we've set a goal to reach 70,000 this year. So we invite any like-minded Republican woman in Mississippi to please join the Mississippi Federation of Republican Women.
Ladies, would you not agree? Would you not agree that it's more important now than ever before with this the young ladies in high school and everywhere else in this gender modification and this locker room, restroom situation is you have to be active and you have to do it politically and you have to bring that force full front and center. And I'm guessing, Penny, that you're not, just on vacation, certainly when the legislative session comes in.
Absolutely. Today is a very important deadline day for us.
Yes.
The legislative issues that we are advocating strongly for are the SAFER Act by Representative Celeste Hurst. She is actually one of our Republican women from Rankin County. There's a sister bill in the Senate sponsored by Josh Harkins and Jeremy England to protect girls and women. And this also provides a cause of action for any violation against the act. We're also strongly supporting prohibition of land purchases by foreign entities, as well as continuing to monitor and support legislation for human trafficking and election integrity. So we're watching that closely and highly supporting these bills.
Mama bears are even more dangerous when they are collected together in an area. I did forget to mention that earlier. The committees to report, it's a deadline for committees to report general bills and constitutional amendments originating in their own house. That is the deadline for today. Any specific events coming up that we need to know about? Or
Absolutely. Today we have ladies coming in from across the state. We're having our spring board meeting, and our NFRW president, Julie Harris, is speaking to us today. We are very excited about that. Tomorrow is Red Coat Day. We'll start at the Capitol building wearing our red coats, hearing from our statewide elected officials. Then we'll have lunch with our legislators at the Trade Mart. We have a record 418 attendees at that luncheon.
Wow.
And then we will join our First Lady, Ely Reeves, at the Governor's Mansion for our First Lady's tea.
And that all happens today?
The board meeting is today. Legislative Day is tomorrow.
Can you guys hang on for a second?
Sure.
Let's do that, and I'll play a couple of sound bites. Ask you also what your thoughts are. shaping America, and certainly in the South, in Arkansas and Mississippi, for the future with immigration and the border.
Yep.
It does play, and Mama Bears are concerned about that also. We'll talk to the two ladies about that. Julie Harris, President, Federation of Republican Women from Arkansas. Penny Payne, who's the president of Mississippi Federation for Republican Women, with some big events coming up. I do want, Penny, if you would, please, one more time on the two bills you were talking about that are subjected to the deadline today, because they are important bills.
We are strongly advocating for the SAFER Act by Representative Celeste Hurst. It's also, there's a sister bill on the Senate side, sponsored by Josh Harkins and Jeremy England. This protects girls and women and provides a cause of action for any violation of the act.
Governor of Arkansas has been front and center, hasn't she, Julie, on coming forward? I mean, she's taking no enemies or no prisoners on this.
Yeah, that's
a lot of
good.
these subjects.
Yes.
I do want to ask you, when you look at the recruiting of this with the new generation, are you finding more and more are acceptable to this as far as joining the organization? Some of the younger people.
You're talking about joining
your organization?
Yes, we are. We have quite a bit of young women joining, and we're starting to see even some of the younger college and young Republicans. And one of the things that the NFRW is doing is partnering with the young Republicans and the college Republicans and making sure that we're a united organization, from the RNC to the NFRW, the YRs, the CRs. Winning will take unity, and we are unified behind issues such as securing our border, strengthening our economy, and parental rights. Those are the issues that NFRW will try to champion in this coming election.
Penny, does the pro-life narrative ever come up in this too?
Absolutely. And as conservative Christian women, pro-life values are very important to us. And we certainly want to elect people that have those same values.
Yeah. You know, it is weird. I saw a story the other day that AI, with all the new stuff that AI can do, it will be soon. I'm not sure if it's available now or not. It's a depiction of what actually goes on from conception all the way through birth. And it's so realistic that there are going to be a lot of people who will never let you put this on the air one way or the other. But it was interesting because this fight always goes on. Yeah. And Senator Kennedy had a narrative, a discussion on the floor of the Senate, well, on the hearings in the hearing rooms. And it sounded, and here it is. I want you to hear this.
Let's take a baby at 21 weeks. Hold up, Mark. This is a baby at 21 weeks. Okay? The baby can feel pain, right? And the baby's pretty developed.
As far as I understand, yeah.
Yeah. And then the doctor would take a SOFR clamp. It's really a pair of pliers. And without giving the baby any pain medication, the doctor would start tearing the baby apart. Is that right?
As far as I understand the procedure.
Yeah.
Senator Kennedy, your time has expired here.
Well, you gave the others plenty of time, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry you don't want to hear about what happens.
No, I don't think anybody
in
else
an actual abortion, but I thought that was what we were here to talk about.
No one else has gone over. Some of the witnesses went a little bit long, but on both sides. So
I thought we were here about protecting mothers and killing babies.
I'm going to turn to Senator Stabenow and.
I'm sorry you don't want to hear it.
Had to take place in front of you.
Roster here.
My apologies.
It is amazing that it's one of those subjects that's tearing this country apart. Yeah. And there's France. I don't know if you've seen this. France just passed a law, constitutional, that they put it in their constitution, the right of abortion in the country of France. It's absolutely amazing what is going on. Ladies, you want to go over the itinerary one more time because you got a lot of different events happening? Can we do that one more?
Absolutely. Today we have our spring board meeting where the ladies will come from all over the state to meet together. Our national president, Julie Harris, will be speaking to them. Tomorrow is Legislative Day. We'll start off in the Capitol, hearing from our statewide elected officials. We'll meet with our legislators at lunch at the Trade Mart with a record 418 attendees. We leave there and head to the Governor's Mansion for a tea with our First Lady, Ely Reeves. So we've got some exciting couple of days ahead of us.
Julie, you want to give us an idea, a little hint, a little teaser on what we're going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about winning takes unity. One of the things that I've been telling the Republican women in the states I've been traveling to since January is that there's not enough of people who think just like me to win this election. There's not enough people who think just like Penny to win this election. We need the whole spectrum of Republicans. The time for us to air our differences is during the primary. Once that primary is over, if we want to win the White House back, it will take every Republican and some independents. And so I'm looking forward to putting the primary behind us and uniting the whole spectrum of Republicans. We are not monolithic. We all have different opinions. If you take the millions of people in America and you break them down into two parties, it makes sense that we're going to have varying views within the Republican Party. So my message will be winning takes unity, and we must win that White House back, win the Senate, and gain a stronger majority in the House.
I will say this. We see some changes now, and some of it's because of Donald Trump. But we see some changes now that we haven't seen in a long time as far as demos are concerned, where the African-American population is beginning to say, wait, we've had enough of this. And I'm hoping that's reflective in the future as far as organizations like yours, whether it's Hispanic Americans or African Americans, to be more diverse, certainly with younger people in the future. Penny, final thoughts?
We are just so very excited for what's to come for Mississippi. We are motivated to keep Mississippi red. We are motivated to get the White House back Republican. And we want to educate women to let them know the true issues. You can't always get that when you turn on the television. So we want to make sure that they know the facts so that they can go to that ballot box and vote with confidence. If you don't like the trajectory that our country is in, if you want to help make a difference, please visit us at our website, MississippiFRW.org, or find us on Facebook. We would love to have you join us.
Could they find some local contacts if they hear some people hear this from the Gulf Coast all over the state?
Absolutely.
And say, look, I'd love to talk to somebody who is a member in my hometown.
Absolutely. On our website, we have the presidents all listed by county. You can click on that, and it brings you right to their email, and you can send an email, and we will be right back in touch with you.
Also gives you a great opportunity to go to events and become politically active. Who knows? The next thing is, I don't know, you might become a Celeste Hurst and the new representative. You never know. And, hey, what's the worst that could happen? You go out and buy you a new red outfit.
That's good.
Ladies,
Good point.
thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.